Okay, Ricardo, we're here in São Paulo at the Gartner conference, the Gartner Outsourcing Summit for Latin America. And Brascom's taking a key role here, even arranging a lot of the speaker tracks and everything. So if you could maybe summarize, say, the growth in the last 10 years or so, which has clearly been influenced a lot by the Lula government, opening Brazil to the world. So what's happened in the past few years that makes this attractive?
Okay. Well, I think it's a result of a very consistent evolution that Brazil got for the past, I would get more than 10 years, 45 years of investments in technology. It started really early, where the main multinationals started their operations, companies like Unisys, HP, IBM, EDS, etc., their operations in Brazil. And got a very speed up process because of the evolution of the local economy. So the IT market in Brazil grew based on the financial sectors, the financial services and the manufacturing, the natural resources that we are very strong in, the supply chain management, manufacturing, retail, so to support the local market. And what we are seeing from 8 years to now, it's this local market, and Brazil is about $60 billion, only the local market. It's becoming to be more global and to take more attention from the international markets. So in the past few years, we saw an evolution in exports. In 2007, we had about $700 million in exports. Last year, we jumped to $3 billion. This year, we're expecting 3.5. So we have seen a very consistent growth.
Okay, so you mentioned that in the past few years you've become much more export focused. So how has the recession in the US and Europe, how has that impacted industry in Brazil?
I think we were very concerned in the beginning, but as you see the numbers and the forecasts of Gartner and Forrester's and some other sources, the looking for cost reduction still continues to be a big thing in the main countries in the world. So, and nearshore, it's a natural. I think that global sourcing is a natural trend in that direction. You're going to find centers in the globe that are more aligned to your need, especially when you don't have a big barrier, as is the case of IT. You can use any country. So this is going to continue to happen. We didn't see this growth, as I mentioned to you. We are still growing the exports.
And what's interesting in Brazil, if you look at the IT industry, there's big multinational players. At the conference here, I can see Accenture, HP, IBM, these guys. And yet there's also indigenous, local companies. So what is Brascom focused on? Is it helping the local companies to develop, or is it just the industry in general?
Yeah, in terms of international market, we have basically three agendas. One is promotion of exports. So it doesn't matter the nationality of the company, if it's a big multinational, if it's a small local or regional, or if it's from Turkey, Australia. I'm just promoting Brazil as a country, as an export hub. The second agenda, it's investments attraction. So it's funds and investors that are looking for opportunities to invest in Brazil. And the third agenda is the internationalization of the Brazilian companies. This is one very hot topic now. I think you're going to be writing a lot about this about Brazil in the next 2 years. The vendor landscape in Brazil will change completely in the next two years. There will be a lot of acquisitions, a lot of mergers, a lot of funds coming to Brazil to invest. So I believe you're right. The indigenous have an important role in the local market for the next, and I think it's going to happen in different perspectives. There will be the consolidators, there will be the big Brazilian companies as they are today already, but they're going to get much bigger, like the same thing that happened in India. Yeah, we're going to have our Tatas, our Infosys, and etc. We're going to have some acquisition, some international companies buying Brazilian companies. And definitely we're going to have international investors investing in local companies. So it's going to be a mix of everything.
Okay. And in terms of IT services, how does Brazil really sell itself? What's the USP?
Yeah, I think that Brazil, as I told you, the story of the development of the sector was based on the local economy. So it's a much more similar approach to the UK, to the US, to Europe, than an offshore-centric company. So basically you can find in Brazil a full range of services. What we are seeing that Brazil is exporting more, it's in the applications management side, which includes from the consulting, project development, and the maintenance and support, infrastructure management, a lot of niche solutions. So Brazil it's really becoming a hub for niche solutions. So you were talking about banking automation, retail automation, security, insurance solutions, so this kind of specific solutions. But I don't see Brazil being very honest, like competing strongly in the low end of the outsourcing, like very process oriented and low value kind of solutions. Because you need scale, first of all. So there is part of the business that we are exporting that is included there, but I don't think it's going to be only this kind of service that will happen in Brazil.
Okay. One of the problems a place like India, for example, has found as the industry grew very fast, it's difficult to find enough people that are skilled to come into high-end IT jobs. So in Brazil, are you going to find a similar problem? Is it the responsibility of the schools and universities or the industry to train people?
It's an important question. I think that we're June 2010, today we don't have this problem. So today you come to Brazil, you can do a ramp up here, and you're gonna find the talent because the market is not that hot. Even though it's growing, it's a consistent growth. At the same time, we have a strong educational system that is putting the road a lot of new talent people. What Brascom is doing in this direction, we are putting together programs. We invite the government, the local government, the municipalities, the states, the federal government, the private sector. So we go to our associates and we understand where the demand is. Brazil is a huge country. So I want 1,000 people of SAP in the Northeast. I want Java in the South. So Brascom understands where the demand is coming from. We take the government and we do joint programs with universities and technical schools. One thing that I believe it's a big differentiator of Brazil is this high school technical education that we have. Brazil, since it's a strong manufacturing country, we have a network of technical schools that now they are migrating from manufacturing-oriented courses and classes to IT and everything. So depending on the kind of job that you're looking, you don't need like a PhD, a doctor or something like that. So I believe that we're not going to see this in the next 2-3 years if the programs that we are doing now really start to work and to generate more people. Brazil will be finding this direction. Unless we have a much bigger growth than we are expecting. We are talking about exports, for instance, to achieve $5 billion by 2011. So for this kind of dimension, we're going to be covered.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.